Hello. Under the certificate course, today we'll be studying mergers and acquisitions in India. Now, why this certificate course? How this is helpful for us? What we are going to derive out of this course? Now, this course will be helpful for our career development. How? This can help us in securing better corporate jobs. This certificate will add value to our profile or resume or our portfolio, whatever we call, and this will help us in securing better corporate jobs as a corporate lawyer. And not only this will help us in securing better corporate positions as well. As a lawyer can also work in different managerial positions. Some lawyers also pursue MBA and then get into corporate. So they will be getting better opportunities if they are well conversant with laws as well. So because they will be able to sense better opportunities for that company or the employee. So this is about corporate jobs benefit. Now then, we can also work as a counsel or as an attorney. Counsel, British attorney, American. India follows British procedures, so in India we call counsel. Okay, so now once we have understood the benefits of studying mergers and acquisitions in India, because this is also a higher paying work for the lawyers. So if we take this task for our clients, they are willing to pay us better or willing to pay us well. This is because we will be able to advise them better, advise them of the opportunities, warn them of the threats. We can tell them whether to merge with a certain company or not, or to choose better options. So likewise, we can guide them on several aspects because we understand the position pertaining to the law of the relevant companies or the companies in question or the companies those are proposed to merge. So once understanding laws and procedures, we will be in a better position to guide our clients, and in turn, our clients will be willing to pay us better. And of course, we'll be getting more clients then. Now we should also understand relevant professionals who are also associated with mergers and acquisitions, and those are chartered accountants. Chartered accountants are more concerned with the accountancy aspect of merger and acquisition, while lawyers are concerned or more concerned with the legal aspect or the court-related aspects of mergers or acquisitions. So we need to work in coordination with chartered accountants. You can also say there can be a competition. So there can be a competition, there can be cooperation, there can be coordination. And this is how we can thrive in our professional capacity. Okay, so once understanding the environment and who we are closely associated, and as we have already understood the benefits of understanding mergers and acquisitions or studying mergers and acquisitions and coming to practice mergers and acquisitions. Now, let's first study the meaning of merger. Merger is an amalgamation of two or more business entities, but we are concerned with companies. The constitution may be any, but like proprietorship or partnership, but under proprietorship or partnership, clients prefer chartered accountants, and that is very easy. Sometimes clients do not come to professionals and they themselves merge or unite or retire a partner or bring in a partner. They resort to easier means rather than merging the entire organization. And even if they do, they can do it very easily, and it is better dealt by, or normally in the market it is dealt by chartered accountants. So, as far as corporate sector is concerned or companies are concerned, lawyers come into play or lawyers come into picture. And so we will be studying corporate. So merger is an amalgamation of two or more business entities such that the new entity will come into existence. Previous entities will be no longer in existence. Theoretically, we say this But of course, previous entities may require official liquidation, and there may be legal procedures. Earlier, we used to follow Companies Act of 1956, and now we follow the Companies Act of 2013. So, and there are also NCLT rulings as well. And sometimes there are, in case of listed companies, there are SEBI guidelines as well that we need to adhere to. So we need to incorporate those things as well, but in a generic manner, or generally, we can say that old companies are now no longer in existence, and there is a new company that has come into existence, and this will now persist. So this is called a merger. Now, under these circumstances, the owners of the previous company now become owners of this new company unless and until some of the owners wish to exit. If they exit, they will now no longer be the owners, but the remaining owners will be remaining in this merged or the newly created company after the merger or resultant company of the merger. Now, when this takes place? This takes place when the owners or shareholders or members of the company wish to merge. Now, the directors of this company may pass a resolution that now they are willing to merge because their owners wish to merge, so they can become one company. So merger is also taken, is not only taken like 1+1, because one company may merge with several companies, or several companies can merge together or come together, like there may be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 companies merging to form one company. This is unlike acquisition, where we need to study acquiring a company individually. If one company wishes to acquire companies A, B, C, and D, these 4 companies, the resultant company will be one company. But there, they will be dealing each company distinctly. Here, more of a coordination between the merging companies. So this is more concerned with a collaborative approach where all the companies will be working more or less equally to form or to create a merger or to create a merged company. Now, why this is brought about? This is brought about to overcome some shortcomings or to overcome some deficiencies, like there is a company A which has some expertise or some technology, and there is a company B which has some capital. A is capital deficient, B is capital surplus, but B does not have technical expertise. So in case of merger of both these companies A and B, the resulting company, say C, will have both technical expertise as well as the required capital. So this is how it will be beneficial. So like when we say the companies will be gaining expertise or will be gaining some sort of benefits, those benefits can be physical. That means they can be tangible, we can touch them or see them, and they can be virtual, like distribution chain created, franchisee chain. Not necessarily we are talking about franchisee establishment or the shops or offices, but we are talking about the documentation or the relationship of the principal and the franchise that has been created. So in case of merger, a company merging with other company can gain the features of the other company, or all the companies under merger can gain the benefits of each other. So the resultant company will be possessing the features of all the companies, or the good features of all the companies. Needless to say that it will be shedding off bad features and will be carrying on with good features only. So it will be getting benefits in the form of features. Those were peculiar to all those companies, but now not peculiar to those different companies, because now they have become one. Now, usually why merger is brought about? Usually a merger is brought about in order to expand market, because and this market is not necessary in a particular area. Suppose in a particular area, in a particular city or a particular state, a company transacts its business. Another company also transacts its business. And like A and B, they are in the same domain and maybe in different domains, but due to certain benefits they are willing to merge. They can merge. Even in case of companies transacting same business. If some part of the market is held by A and some part of market is held by B, and if they merge, they become one. Say they become C now, and they gain majority of the market, and they may have the position of monopoly as well under these circumstances. So these are the benefits, and might be if say a company A is operating in one state, a company B is operating in other state of India. If they merge, now they will be transacting their businesses in both the states. So the business will grow. This will help in enhancing the market for the owners. And not only this will increase the value of the company as well. Because now more investors will try to come in because it has a greater market. It's now a bigger company. So they can sell the shares at a higher premium now. At a higher premium. Now say A and B both were selling their shares for 100 rupees, or say their combined capital was 100 units, 50 plus 50, and or the market was 50 plus 50, but after merger, it will not become 50 plus 50, 100, but maybe like 110, 150 or 200, because this is how corporate sector works. If you have a higher business, if you have better opportunities, more investors are willing to come into the company due to its future aspects. Why future aspects? Because in future, the value of the company will increase. There are greater chances now. It is now more promising that future value will increase. So just as in the case of fixed deposits, we invest into a fixed deposit, understanding that it will give us returns, a certain amount of returns later on. The same way, if company has better opportunities in the future, they assume that company will be earning that much amount of money in future. Say if a company today is worth 100 crores, after 50 years it will be worth 9,000 crores. So it was worth 100 crores, but if we bring in some investors for expansion or in order to gain those 9,000 crores, we bring in more, say, 50 crores. Now, the capital will be 150 crores, but the shares can be worth, now 150 crore worth shares can be like 3,000 crores, because we are eyeing 9,000 crores 15 years later. And for those 9,000 crores, if someone is like investing 1/3 of it, and he will get benefit of 3/4. So this is a good deal. So they will be willing to undertake this deal. So under these circumstances, as the worth of the company also increases, mergers and acquisitions are beneficial for the companies. Now let's study some late mergers. And in India, the merger of PVR and Inox, HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank, when HDFC Bank merged to become HDFC Limited. Earlier it was a part of HDFC Bank. So now they are merged. So now they are one company. Now and Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, which was a gaming company. Now and there was a merger of Moz app, we know, which was like TikTok. So Moz and MX Takatak merged to form one company. So these were the examples. So now we see that such huge mergers are taking place in India. So there are so many opportunities in the mergers and acquisitions segment of law. Under meaning of merger, we also study types of mergers, because mergers have some objectives, and based on the objectives have to be some types as well. So there is vertical merger, when involved parties or businesses or companies are involved in the same type of production, but it is at different stages. So here the companies are involved in same type of business, but then stage is different. For example, we take a merger between Zee Entertainment Enterprises Limited and Dish TV India Limited. Both were at different stages because one was in production and other was in supply chain. So as Zee Entertainment was more concerned with production, whereas Dish TV was a supplier entity because it was delivering content or it was delivering to the mass. Now, horizontal merger. Now, under horizontal merger, the companies are in the same lines, but may also be competitors. Like Vodafone and Idea Cellular were competitors. Were in the same line, but were competitors, and these two telecom companies merged. Now, congeneric merger. Now, this is such a merger that takes place between two companies that are somehow related to each other, but they do not have mutual buyers or suppliers. So they have no relationship or they do not have any common buyers or suppliers. So that is an example of this, like Thomas Cook, India Limited, and Sterling Holiday Resorts. They operate into tours and travel sector. So these both are involved in tourism industry in the same business segment, but their customers were different. Now, a conglomerate merger is such a merger where parties operate in different businesses. This is because, say, a business conglomerate, first we should understand what is a conglomerate. Conglomerate is a combination or a group of companies. It is a conglomerate. We can say Tata Group is a conglomerate. It has Tata Steel, it has TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, and Tata Chem. So it has several companies. And under this conglomerate, there are different businesses, like chemicals business, software business, and Tata Motors has motors business. So we can call it a conglomerate. So if a conglomerate has several businesses and it is willing to take over some business which it does not has already and add it to its group of companies, it will be a conglomerate merger. So a new business will be added and the companies will merge. So the superior company will be taking over some inferior company under these circumstances of conglomerate merger. Usually, it's not necessary, but usually there is a superior company and an inferior company. So when the inferior company merges with a conglomerate company, it comes under the conglomerate, or the conglomerate gets one more business. So this is called a conglomerate merger. Now, cash merger. So this is regarding payment, like how shareholders are getting paid. Like might be if companies merge, companies may merge, but its owners may exit and they get cash. So they get cash, the exiting people are getting cash, but the remaining ones are not getting because they are getting shares and they are rather paying in cash. They can pay out of the company reserves, or maybe they bring in some money, they pour in some money to the company reserves and then pay off the exiting ones. So this is also how the merger takes place. Now, forward merger is such a merger when a company wishes to buy its buyers. Say the end product of one company is an input for other company, like A produces some products and it is used in production of another company. Say the name of company is B. Say if company A produces yarns and company B uses those yarns to prepare cloth. So it's a textile company. So A is a yarn producing company, B is a textile company, and these may merge. Now forward merger is when the yarn producing A will merge with B, and such that the supremacy will be of A. So this is how it works, because we are calling it forward mergers. Okay, so as we are calling it forward mergers, so under these circumstances, the supremacy will be of the company which is moving forward. In this example, it is company A. Now reverse merger, backward movement, like B is moving towards A, or B has supremacy, B is in a superior position, then we will call it a reverse merger. So we will have a competitive edge. After all, after merger, they will become one. So the resulting company will be one. It will be B rather than we calling them C, we can call it B. Because B is merging, and under understanding or consideration, we are considering that B is making a reverse. If B is making a reverse, means the supremacy is of B. So it is just for the sake of understanding. So this is called a reverse merger because it is categorized as such for the sake of understanding. Now, market extension merger. As the name suggests, the market extension merger is such a merger where the intention is to extend the market. Now, the object of a market extension merger is to gain access to a larger market and thus ensure a larger customer base. There is also an example of this, like the merger between Mittal Steel and ArcelorMittal, which was a Luxembourg company. Now, that was also in talks with Tata regarding takeover. I don't know whether they have taken over this ArcelorMittal or not, because the resultant company was ArcelorMittal after Mittal Steel and Arcelor Steel merged, taken over by Tatas or not, I do not know. But at that point of time, merger between Mittal Steel and Arcelor Steel created a new company, or created a resultant company which was called ArcelorMittal. So this is an example of market extension merger. Now, product extension merger. The product extension merger is a merger between companies that sells relevant products or services and operate in the same or similar market. Now, it is notable that the products and services of the merging companies are not the same, but are relevant. Not the same thing, but somehow relevant. Now, let's take an example of this. This type of merger is not prominently visible in India. This we should also understand. But the example is PepsiCo merger with Pizza Hut. Now, we know both are in the same market segment like foods and beverages, but both were selling different things. Like Pizza Hut was selling pizzas and burgers or whatsoever, like fast food, and PepsiCo was selling soft drinks. So, market segment was the same, but products were not the same. So now we have studied all these types of mergers as well. Now let's come to acquisition. Under acquisition, a company acquires other companies, or maybe one or more companies. It can acquire, but distinctly, of course, because each company has to be dealt distinctively. Distinctly. So if A wishes to take over B, C, and D, so it will take B, C, and D distinctly, like A and B, A and C, A and D, and that is the only way which is more practical. It is not necessary according to law, but also it is more practical. So that is how. Because in some countries there may be laws which do not, which may allow such sort of acquiring, like an acquirer can acquire a few companies together, regardless of merger. This is not a merger, I am talking about acquisition. So, but in that case also, it is more practical to acquire companies one by one. Under acquisition, the company that acquires other company, like if A acquires B, A will be called acquire, and B is getting acquired, so B will be called acquired. So the acquiring company is called acquirer, and the acquired company, or the company that is getting acquired, is called acquired. Now let's take some examples of acquisitions. Like there is an example of Elon Musk acquiring Twitter. Elon Musk, in his individual capacity, took over Twitter and now named it X. Now he might have come into corporate. That's a different thing. But initially, he took over Twitter as an individual. He was the sole owner of Twitter at that point of time. He was funded by different entities, of course, and he borrowed rather, but he was the sole owner at that point of time. Later on, he would have added or might not have added some other owners. From time to time, developments keep on taking place in companies, but initially it was Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Then Tata Group took over Air India. Air India was originally held by Tatas, then government took over, and then government sold it back to Tatas. And then there is another example of acquisition where Adani Group acquired NDTV. Now, another one is Zomato which acquired Blinkit. So these were into like food delivery or e-commerce delivery business, this Zomato and Blinkit. So here we observe that so many mergers and so many acquisitions are taking place world over and also in India. The Tata's group are taking over, the Adanis are taking over, and there are more and more companies coming into India. Indian companies are making foray in foreign lands. So if we are well conversant with appropriate laws and procedures, we can advise them or we can work for them in India as well as overseas, because the business of the whole world is getting centralized in India. India is consistently developing and more investors are willing to come to India or to partner with Indian companies in foreign lands as well. Now, we should study objectives of mergers and acquisitions. Everything has a purpose or objective. If we are well aware of the objectives, we will be able to work in accordance with the objectives in a better manner. Now, so the objective of mergers and acquisitions are usually like growth. Like if companies merge or a company acquires other company, it will grow and become a greater or a bigger company or a larger company. Then market exploitation. When companies merge or companies acquire other companies, they become a greater company. They are in a better position to manipulate the market because they gain expertise of the acquired company as well, or the other merging companies, or all the merging companies, those have united, now after forming one company, they get better opportunities, market exploitation. They have also acquired specific factors, those are relevant to one company. Now, once merging or acquiring, the features, those were distinct to distinct companies, are now held with the same company. So, and now tax also. So, mergers and acquisition can also lead to tax benefits. There can be tax strategy as well, like a company is profit surplus and other company is loss-making company. When these companies merge, they can adjust the surplus with the losses, so they will be taxed lesser. So the merged entity, or after acquisition, the existing entity or the persisting entity or the persisting company will be taxed lesser. Now, certain government compliances are also there. Sometimes there might be schemes after merging only a company can get, because it cannot fulfill the requirement. But after merging with other company or acquiring other company, it gives all the features that it can satisfy the requirements of the government schemes or policies. And sometimes government can also order merger of companies. Under these circumstances, the companies need to merge. Now, diversification is also an objective. Now, businesses want to diversify. Now, not necessarily into absolutely different field, but in different categories or subcategories of a particular field. Like if a company is preparing yarns of cotton, now it can prepare yarns of silk as well. So it can diversify this way. It can add one more product to its portfolio, which is silk yarn. Earlier it was only cotton yarn. So this is how companies get opportunity of diversification. And this also decreases competition, because the companies which have merged or after acquisition, they have become one company. So there is lesser competition. So they can get monopolistic gains. So they may create monopoly or a similar sort of situation. If not absolute monopoly, at least to some extent they can do. Now we can study mergers and acquisitions versus partnerships and joint ventures. Now, what is the difference between mergers and acquisitions and partnership and joint ventures? Companies could also get into partnership. So what is the difference? So how we can identify or understand this? We can understand this like by two specific features or two prominent features, that is stage and ease. With stage, why we are talking about stage, like mergers and acquisitions can only be at a later stage. Like a company already exists and then only it can merge or acquire another company. But partnerships can be formed since inception. Like two people are willing to form a partnership or two companies are willing to form a partnership, they can form right from the beginning. Okay, and similarly in case of joint venture, if there are two people and they want to work on a joint venture for a particular period of time, they might be transacting some businesses and they are not uniting the business fully, but they are willing to take some task together for a particular time period, or they are willing to take a particular sort of task only under this joint venture and are not merging fully. So the stage can be initial also, like two people who are not even doing any business can start a joint venture. But under mergers and acquisitions, there must be some businesses already or some business entities which are now willing to merge, or one is willing to acquire the other or others. So this is the case. Now these mergers and acquisitions are harder to carry out because of a lengthy legal procedure, whereas joint ventures and partnerships are easy to establish because it requires lesser legal formalities. So these are the two prominent features, whereas people resort to mergers and acquisitions because of their benefits, but partnerships and joint ventures are also helpful if the object is in accordance with the partnerships or joint ventures. This is what I was discussing, that if as lawyers we understand the situations well, we will be in a better position to advise our clients, and the client will also understand that we are understanding everything well. So he will listen to us properly in case of loss even, because he knows that we are conversant of the situations in which the client is. So if we are understanding the position of client, we can advise him better. So this way we gain the confidence of the clients. Now client is more confident on us, so will be paying us well and resorting to us. And even under corporate positions, will be paying us better, and we can crack interviews of corporate jobs in a better way, and may gain better or superior positions like directors in the corporate sector, more conversant with laws, advise the company in a better way. So this is how we get benefits. So this was module 1, and now we'll be studying module 2. So this was regarding introduction, and then we'll be moving on to the next module.